You're watching the Crescent City's premier independent station, WGNO 26. Television, New Orleans style.
Hello and welcome back to part 4, the fourth and final part of ranking Western cartoons. I'm Dwreck. Sorry for being late on this video, but that's because a whole bunch of things going around about the fight of the century everybody's talking about with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, whatever his name is, and also with Game Bread, Bare Knuckle MMA going on and everything. So it's been kind of a eventful, festival, people coming together type deal. Anyway, speaking of coming together, we've finally reached the fourth part. I'm so sorry, everybody. When you've been doing something like this for the last 3 weeks, it starts to become redundant, and I'm very ready to be done with this. So not going to be going into too much details because, as I've stated before, with the Disney Channel cartoons like the Disney Afternoons, I did the Nicktoons, and then I did Cartoon Network and Adult Swim. So now, on the fourth and final part, we're going to be talking about pretty much like syndication cartoons. Meaning like ones that I watched when it was like Saturday mornings. Now, these cartoons aren't really not affiliated with like a Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, or Cartoon Network. These are more like the ones that played on like the Fox Kids and like the Family Channel and everything, and especially like ones that were just syndicated, especially ones that would show up on like Saturday morning cartoon broadcasters, or like on like what's it called, the local NBCs, CBSs, and CB and ABCs and UPNs and RSPCCs, whatever you call them. And even I'm gonna throw in some MTV ones just to add in a good flair. So that being said, let's take a quick commercial break, and we're gonna get to the fourth and final part of ranking Western cartoons. So see you after this commercial break.
Don't you dare touch that dial! DwreckTV will be back after these messages! Woody Boom!
This is one of the world's most powerful soakers, the new Laramie Super Soaker XP105. Twice the drench of your original Super Soaker. Get to know it, learn to love it. It is your friend, Smith. Hit me with the XP105.
Sarge?
I said hit me! Yeah! Less pumps to power than before. The XP Power Gauge shows how much power you're packing. I'm soaking my socks, and I'm loving it. My turn! Yeah! The new Laramie Super Soaker XP105. Wetter is better!
So you like hang with the surfers here at the beach a lot?
Yes, I pinch.
Yeah, I'm always down here too. Weekends. I don't mind telling you, a few sick days.
I pinch.
It's cool. I carry their boards. They change inside me.
I want to pinch.
Hey, not so close. I don't want to get pinched.
Why no pinch?
'Cause it hurts.
Maybe little pinch?
You know, I've got some melted butter and some tongs in here, so...
No pinch, no pinch, no pinch.
And now back to DwreckTV! Boom!
Alright, we got the drinks. Oh yeah. And this was brought to my attention from my nephew, Jay Swisby, that Game Fuel is now back. So, shout out to my nephew, Jay Swisby, for the info. And as I've said before, this Game Fuel is the best Mountain Dew flavor ever, as I've said before.
I don't care what nobody says. That drink was awesome.
Said it then, and I'll say it again. The best flavor. So, hope that this can get me through this ranking, shall we? Uh, I'm I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all off the cuffs. For the record, I am very ready to be done with this. So I'm not gonna go into too much details, and we're not gonna be here all night. I got like maybe 15, 20. So I'm gonna blaze through all this because I'm ready to be done. So first up, we're gonna be talking about is The Simpsons. I remember The Simpsons was everywhere. When I was a kid, I didn't watch too much of The Simpsons, but they was everywhere. Bart Simpson, his catchphrases, the Butterfingers, Homer Simpson, and everything. It was everywhere. When I was younger, but I only watched maybe like a few episodes, not too much, because The Simpsons, when I was younger, it just felt more like it was like for more mature audiences, if that makes any sense. My parents never had a problem with me watching it, but I just didn't really catch on to it. But as I got older, I kind of got into it a little more because I understood a lot more of the situations and everything. My wife likes The Simpsons as well. But as far as overall, I would put The Simpsons at a B. I mean, their early days were great, but I think they should have stopped around like 2002, like more like when the movie happened. That's when they really should have stopped. Anyway, next up, we're gonna talk about. Oh man, this is gonna get me excited. Probably one of my all-time favorites, the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. I have to tell you, when I was younger, I absolutely loved the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. I loved Mario. I loved Luigi. The live action skits. I loved the cartoons to it. Absolutely freaking loved Mario Bros. Super Show. And I didn't know that Lou Albano was a manager until like sometime later. So yeah. And as far as I'm gonna put this in with the Mario Brothers 3 and Mario World. I absolutely loved those. I put all three of them. I put them S rank. Absolutely love Mario Brothers Super Show. I love the 3 and World, but definitely Super Show definitely has a special place. Let's see, because played the Mario Brothers when I was younger, and like 1, 2, and 3, and then seeing the Super Show, it was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Next up, we're going to talk about is Duckman. I did see Duckman when I was younger. We're talking 1995. I was probably like 10 years old. Duckman aired on late nights. I think it was on the USA Network. I could be one of them stations. But it was one of them things where it was like you're young, you see this Duckman, and it's like you just watching it in secret. You're watching it in secret because you don't know if you shouldn't be watching this, but you're watching it, and it's really cool. Especially seeing a Duckman. Duckman is hilarious. I absolutely loved it. But I didn't really catch too many episodes because, one, it was always at late night, and I always had to watch it in secret. But definitely Duckman, I would put that at an A rank. Jason Alexander as the voice of Duckman, it was absolutely fantastic. And especially, a lot of the things started to resonate with me when I got older. When I started getting a little more mature and more adult and everything. Started understanding a lot more of the situations on Duckman than I did when I was a kid. And I tell you what, a lot of it definitely holds up today. It was definitely ahead of its time. Y'all should check them out. Next, South Park. South Park, my honest opinions on South Park. It was great for a time. It's definitely a product of its time. That late 90s going into 2000s, South Park was absolutely one of the best. I would say mid 2000s, that's when it just started. and I've never watched an episode ever since. The first time I ever seen South Park, because where I lived during the N64 time, the N64 house as I call it, we did not catch some Comedy Central. We didn't catch it. I didn't know about South Park until I started reading it in like Nintendo Power. But my big sister and her friends, they came home laughing their heads off, and they had a videotape. My big sister had recorded an episode of South Park, and she got me to watch it, and I thought it was one of the funniest things. It was the episode with the lesbian substitute teacher, Miss Ellen. If y'all know that episode, you know what I'm talking about. That was the first episode I seen of South Park. And then we watched it like almost a bunch of times because me and my big sister would laugh our heads off at it. Then finally when we moved to the GameCube house, we managed to catch Comedy Central. I watched a lot of the episodes and everything, but I would definitely say by 2000s, like the mid 2000s, South Park just went downhill. But I would put, as far as like South Park goes, I would put it at an A, but I would put it at a B as well. Simply because, like I said, the episodes just fell off like around 2004, 2005. But I never watched the episodes since then, especially with the mockery of religion and everything. Yeah, I don't sit well with that. But definitely South Park is a product of its time, if you know what I mean. Next up is G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe, I have no problem with it at all. I didn't grow up with G.I. Joe many people a little older than me did. But I don't have no problem with G.I. Joe. I did see a few episodes, like here and there. I'd see a few episodes, and I really like it. I love the good guy team versus bad guy teams. I like Duke. I like Scarlet and Storm Shadow. I think that's what his name is. I'm not too familiar with the characters, but I did like the G.I. Joe. I put G.I. Joe at a definite A. But like I said, I never watched it when I was a kid because I was like a little too young to watch. Like too young, but like didn't really resonate with me as much younger. I was too big on Ninja Turtles, but that's what my thoughts on G.I. Joe. Next, oh dude, this is a kicker. The Beast Wars. The Beast Wars was quite frankly one of the best. You want to talk about that streamline of Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers? Beast Wars was the absolute best. Especially like it came off the heels of like the Transformers and everything, but the Beast Wars, they turned into animals. They had the Maximals and the Predacons. I even still got my original action figures up here. I mean, look at it. Look. See? Those right there are my original Transformers, the Beast Wars. Not so much I had to rebuy that Pterosaur, but those are some of my original Beast Wars. I had every one of them from the show. Some of them I still got picked up in a box. Some of them are kind of broken down because of over the years and everything, and I lost a couple of them in a move. But Beast Wars, absolutely S rank. Probably one of the best shows when I was a teenager, before Dragon Ball Z. The music was great. The graphics on it, for the CG at that time, was absolutely fantastic. The Beast Wars was definitely one of the best shows ever. My opinion anyway, but to a lot of people. Anyway, next. King of the Hill. I have to say, I absolutely love King of the Hill simply because I live in South Louisiana. I see a lot of Texans. I see a lot of Mississippi people. I see a lot of like Gulf Coast people. I cannot tell you how many people I've seen that are Hank Hills. I've seen so many Hank Hills. I've seen a whole bunch of Boomhauers, a bunch of Dale Gribbles, and Bill Dotrives. I've seen a whole lot of them where I live, and I cannot tell you just how much this kind of show resonates with someone like me and the people around me. This is pretty much like a redneck anime. The King of the Hill is definitely an anime for rednecks. Absolutely. I will put the King of the Hill at an 8. Like I say, I cannot tell you how many Hank Hills and Boomhauers and Bill Treves and even Dale Gribbles I've seen in my hometown and the living areas. It's all over here. Absolutely love it. To an extent, anyway. Next is Transformers Prime. Transformers Prime came out the early 2010s. I didn't know if I was gonna like it at first, but just something about it just made me think, like, is this the next Beast Wars? And I got my nephews into it as well. My nephew, Chaotic Kid and his little brothers and everything, and they absolutely loved it, and I loved it too. And my cousin Max, he got into it as well. He got his boys into it, and it was just like a big thing that for all of us to watch. Between this and Ninja Turtles 2012, oh dude, this was one of the best times because the kids got into it, we got into it, we was excited for them, we excited with them, we got them the action figures and the video games and everything. Transformers Prime, I'd put this at a top solid 8, but definitely not so much an S because the kid characters and everything. But other than that, Transformers Prime was very good. Absolutely very good. Definitely like a good continuation from the Beast Wars. Definitely. Next is Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead was an absolute just freaking two idiots living in a house, watching music videos, and then getting into random situations. My parents didn't mind it, but definitely it's one of them things where it's like their laugh is contagious, and the movie was absolutely great. One of the best animated movies I ever watched was Beavis and Butthead Do America. I put Beavis and Butthead at an 8, a top 8. Absolutely great. Freaking Butthead and Beavis are laughing. Oh man, absolutely love it. Next is Beetlejuice. I did watch Beetlejuice Saturday mornings. I didn't watch a whole lot of episodes of it, but I do remember watching it. It was funny, absolutely funny. The things that him and Lydia would get into was just absolutely bonkers. But I put Beetlejuice, I put it at a B, because like I said, I didn't watch too many episodes of it, but Beetlejuice was one of the things where it was just there, you know? It was just there. So, all right, let's say we're about halfway through this. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll continue right after this.
Get your drink if it don't touch that dial, because DwreckTV will be back in a
You've been eating the delicious sandwiches from Jimmy's John's?
They got summer wraps. They're new. This one's chicken Caesar. Got croutons too, boss.
Freaking Jimmy's John's!
New summer wraps for a limited time only.
A game where you jump on the guy and smash him with your butt. We need a game with cool weapons like this glove and this thing that has these powers. You get to pick bad guys and go. Then you get dug them like donuts. Then ride a huge beast and jump into a bottomless pit. Twirly blades.
Wild 9 for your PlayStation game console by the makers of Earthworm Jim.
Intergalactic domination!
How about another car racing game?
From Interplay.
We now return to DwreckTV.
Damn, this is good shit. Whoa. Welcome back. I didn't see out here. All right, let's continue on ranking Western cartoons in this final part, this final blowout. Next, you're going to talk about the Animaniacs. I absolutely love Animaniacs. Absolutely love it. Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, and all the other characters like Pinky and the Brain. Absolutely contagious. And even the Good Feathers, and my wife loves Animaniacs as well. We watched it like every so often on DVD. But definitely I put Animaniacs at an S rank. Absolutely great. I did try watching the new Animaniacs. I watched 2 episodes and I just turned it off. It was abysmal. But definitely the original Animaniacs, S rank. Absolutely fantastic. Next, speaking of another fantastic one, Tiny Toon Adventures. As I said before, I used to watch Tiny Toons a lot, and I played the video games, the one on the NES and Buster Busts Loose. I absolutely love the Tiny Toons. Absolutely love it. I put them at a A rank. Not too many episodes. Some episodes were better than others, but absolutely love Tiny Toons. The art styles were great. The characters were fantastic, and the voice acting and everything was great. Excuse me. Next. Please do. Especially Celebrity Deathmatch. On MTV, when in the late 90s, going into 2000s, Celebrity Deathmatch was definitely one of the most watched shows on MTV between me and cousins Max and Roy. Especially we was always, whenever they was hyping up that the 3-way between Oprah, Rosie O'Donnell, and Jerry Springer in the cage match, we was hyping that up for like almost for weeks, almost months. And then they finally showed up, and then they finally had that match. It was like, oh shoot. And it was also around the time with like Halloween Havoc 98 and everything. So it felt like a big fight deal, even though it was claymation and everything. But Celebrity Deathmatch, I would put this at a A rank. It was great. Absolutely great. I didn't care for the newer ones, like in the 2005s. It could have been better, but just like South Park, Celebrity Deathmatch was a product of its time. Can't really replicate it nowadays. Next, Earthworm Jim. What more can I say about Earthworm Jim that I haven't said already? I mean, come on. Look right up here. I got the action figures, my original action figures, my original VHSs. I got the DVDs. I got the episodes on DVD, my original action figures. I got both video games and number 3, and Clay Fighter, and I even drew my own Earthworm Jim comic books. See, I drew my own comic books when I was like 18 years old, and I got the books from Doug TenNapel. Absolutely love Earthworm Jim. S rank. And the cartoon was great. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely funny. The one-liners, the puns, everything of it. It was great. Next. Talk about the Ninja Turtles. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What kid, what child, what boy or girl in the late 80s going into the 1990s did not love the Ninja Turtles? Seriously. What kid did not love the Ninja Turtles? That was absolutely fantastic. All 4 Ninja Turtles, they going on their adventures, trying to take down Shredder. And they have the Master Splinter. They got April O'Neil and Casey Jones. They got Fight Shredder and Rocksteady and Bebop and things from Dimension X and everything. And the first movie came out when I was like 5 years old. I was blown away by it. Absolutely loved it. Then my parents got it for me on VHS. So I watched it like almost nightly. Then when number 2 came out, it was, oh, dude. The second one just blew the first one away. I don't care what anybody says. It was great. Ninja Turtles was definitely one of my top all-time favorites. And I got my the action figures and everything. Those aren't my originals, but I'm getting them back. But definitely Ninja Turtles, S rank. Absolutely. Hands down, S rank. Next. We're going to get is X-Men. Now, some people would probably think like I was a big X-Men fan and everything, but to tell you the truth, I didn't really know too much about X-Men. My wife told me more about X-Men than anything. I mean, I was familiar with it. Some of my friends were like big fans of the X-Men, but I didn't really catch on with it. I didn't really it didn't grasp my attention right away. But when me and my wife, she loves the X-Men. She loves Gambit, she loves Storm and Jubilee, and she likes Cyclops and Professor X. But definitely X-Men. I do like the X-Men, but that's about it. I wouldn't go any further than this cartoon. I don't want to get into the movies. I did watch the first movie in high school, but it was all right. The second one I don't even know if I saw the other ones, to be quite honest. I may have, but it's all a blur. But as far as X-Men goes, the cartoon itself, I'd put it at an A rank. Really good stuff. But we're going to leave it at that. Yeah. Next, we're going to talk about is Garfield and Friends. Same like Beetlejuice. I remember watching Garfield a lot Saturday mornings. It was great. Very fun stuff. Very fun. I put Garfield, I put him at a low A because there wasn't really much to it. But they had Garfield, they had the Barn Friends and everything. I remember watching that a lot. Not a whole lot, but just, it was always on for Saturday mornings. Next. Daria. Same like with like Beavis and Butthead and South Park and Celebrity Deathmatch and everything. Daria was definitely a product of her time. I didn't watch too many episodes, because Daria was pretty much more for girls, but I did watch maybe a handful of episodes. But my big sister and my younger sister never caught on with Daria. But I would put Daria at a B rank, simply because I didn't watch too many episodes, but the ones I did was pretty funny, but I'd put it at a B rank. But my wife loves Daria. Next, what we're going to talk about is The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic the Hedgehog. I loved Sonic. The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog was great. It was absolutely hilarious with the antics and the slapstick and everything. And Sonic the Hedgehog, or people say Sonic AM, was really good. Especially during the time when the Power Rangers was around. But that Saturday morning cartoon with Sonic was great. I put both Sonics at an A rank. I didn't really watch too much of Sonic Underground. That wasn't brought up to my attention till like years after. Next is The Real Ghostbusters. My friends Robert and Duke were big on the Ghostbusters. Much like with the Ninja Turtles and Batman, they was all about the Ghostbusters. They had more Ghostbuster stuff than I did. But I pretty much watched The Real Ghostbusters with them. And it was pretty good. It was a really good show. I'll put Real Ghostbusters at an A rank. Simply because as much as I did watch it, didn't watch too much like on my own. And if I did, it was like maybe like 1 or 2 episodes, but I mostly watched it with them. It's like one of them things where you just want to do stuff with you. It's one of the things where you want to want to watch things with your friends, and when you try to watch it by yourself, it's like it doesn't have the same feel to it. That's how it was with Ghostbusters with me and my friends Robert and Duke. Next, we're going to talk about is Street Sharks. Jawsome. Oh, the Street Sharks should have been like one of the biggest things to come out of the 1990s. I absolutely loved the Street Sharks. I still got one of like the hand pups and everything. I got all the episodes on DVD, and freaking I'm even still starting to see Street Sharks action figures in Target. So I'm glad that this started making some kind of comeback. But I would put Street Sharks. I put it at a low A, high B. Definitely love Street Sharks. You can't go wrong with them. Next, we got two more. Finally, the final two we're going to be talking about. Where's it going to be? Y'all probably going to be scratching your heads and probably thinking, what the hell are you watching this for? Is Donkey Kong Country. There was a CG cartoon for Donkey Kong Country. And I got to tell you, right here, right now, I loved it. Some episodes were better than others. And it was a musical. They had 2 musicals on each episode. And some were better than others, but the ones that were good were very good. I used to record them on a cassette tape. I let the song play. I put my radio up to the speaker and just record. I would listen to them songs like over and over when I was a teenager. But definitely Donkey Kong Country. As far as like being like one of an early CG, especially around the time with Beast Wars, I would put Donkey Kong Country. As great as episodes are, there are some episodes that kind of boring and everything. So I would put it at a high B. In the middle of an A and a B. Because I can forgive, well, especially that second season. I never watched it, but when I saw like screenshots of that, I said, what the hell is this? Definitely stick with the first season episodes. You'll be a lot better. And the episodes with Captain Scurvy are probably one of the best ones. They also have like the best musicals on it. But a lot of musicals are really good and really catchy. But some of them are kind of boring. And like, yeah. Next. Final cartoon we're talking about is Undergrads. This played like late nights on MTV. I remember watching Undergrads when I was a teenager. And the episodes were pretty funny. The episodes are really good. About these teenagers in college and just going on getting into situations that they got to get themselves out of and things like that. But I like the Undergrads. They should have had more episodes to that. I would put this at a low A, high B. Simply because it should have been more. They should have had more episodes. Undergrads is one of them cartoons that just left a lot to be desired. So, finally, I am freaking done ranking these American cartoons. For the last 4 weeks, I am finally freaking done with this crap. I can now finally move on. So here you are. Here's my rankings for my S ranks, A ranks, and B ranks for the remainder of American cartoons from Syndications, MTV, and other channels that just had cartoons. Others I really want to talk about. I'm just done. All right, I'm done. I'm done. I'm ready to move on with my life. This is Dwreck signing out. See y'all on the flip side.